Lords of the Fallen is a challenging Souls-like game from developer Hexworks and published by CI Games. Here at Prima Games, we're working hard to provide you with guides for everything you need to be successful in Lords of the Fallen. Before tackling the Hushed Saint, you'll want to make sure to set up a vestige close by to avoid any unnecessary headache from repeated boss runs. Exploring the swamp after the vestige of Village, you'll find an archway with a flame on each side. Go through it, fight the enemies, and you'll come out by a lake with a flaming pillar across it and a bridge you need to push down from the other side. Opposite the bridge, there's a spot to grow a vestige, which is important. The last vestige is a bit far, and you need to clear this area before you can easily access the Hushed Saint. From that spot, you can easily run past the enemies and make it to the Hushed Saint. There is a spot right outside his boss arena to make a new vestige with a seed, but don't bother if you don't have seeds to burn. The Hushed Saint always starts the battle riding his horse. He'll rush toward you, attack, and then dive into the water. He can do this move of attacking and jumping back into the water as few as 1 time, but usually closer to 3 times. While he's on his horse, he doesn't take damage, so don't bother trying to hit him while he's riding. Instead, try to stay close, even following the trail of disrupted water he leaves behind him while submerged. The horse has a wide turning radius, so you can easily cause it to miss you. Also lock onto him the moment he appears to make keeping track of him a bit easier. When he wants to get off the horse and attack, he'll leap into the air, throw his weapon, and then land near it. Once on the ground, he'll use a variety of attacks that you'll want to be aware of, including several slashes, strikes, and shield bashes that have a pause between wind-up and striking that last a touch longer than you might expect, so make sure you don't dodge too early. He also has a teleporting move where vines wrap around him and pull him into the ground before he pops up and does a lunging attack. You want to dodge shortly after he pops up to avoid damage. If you get too far away, he'll charge up and thrust with his weapon, which can cover a long distance and ends in a grapple. When you're at range, he can also throw his weapon. He instantly regains it, so use this time to heal or buff your weapon. One of his most devastating moves is a circular root blast. He can do it on horseback or on foot, and the range covers a huge portion of the arena. He telegraphs the attack by summoning roots that grow out of his shield or the front of his horse. The best way to avoid damage is to roll toward it while the roots are approaching. During the fight, roots will rise up and slowly pull him down. This means he's going to resurface riding his horse. He can also use his horse as a summoned attack. For this attack, he'll pound his chest with his shield a few times before the horse pops out of the ground and rushes toward his target. When he ends on a big hit, strike back with a few light attacks. Avoid committing to charged hits and combos, since even with 20 vitality, his circular root blast can one-shot you. There are some good openings for heavy damaging combo attacks, but do so at your own risk. Also keep in mind that he can also chain unsuspecting moves together, so always be mindful of him continuing his combo. Finally, be aware that many of his attacks obscure your vision, blocking your view with roots or splashing water. Of course, the best thing to do to even the odds is to summon a partner. You have a few choices, but Damaros works well thanks to his tankiness and ability to give you withered health. The main advantage of the partner is exploiting how forward-facing the hitbox for the Hushed Saint's weapon is. This allows you to get consistent and continuous hits on his backside. Don't overcommit, don't get too jumpy, and use the pauses in his ranged attacks to heal and buff. With a little practice, you'll be on your way to cleansing your first beacon and finding the visage of the Pale Butcher. Make sure to subscribe to Prima Games for our continued coverage on Lords of the Fallen. And if you have your own strategies for beating the bosses, let us know in the comments.